Blessings and welcome to Mike's Moment of Songs and Stories. I'm Michael Harris, and today we're taking a musical journey with one of Jamaica's most respected musicians, the incomparable Wayne Armond. Who has worked with Chalice, with solo projects, and deep love for storytelling through song. Wayne's music has carried messages of peace, love, and unity across generations and borders. So settle in, take a deep breath, and share this moment with us as we explore the songs, the stories, and the soul of Wayne Armond. Welcome, Sir Wayne. How are you doing?
Greetings, Mike.
It
Thanks
is
for
good.
having me.
Huh?
Thanks
what?
for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, man. Of course. Thank you for taking the time, because it's been a long time. I've been a fan and a student of your work.
Do you know I have a track sheet from Anchor Records back then when you and Carol and everybody came in to sing backgrounds on a Chalice song.
Really?
And you signed the track sheet.
That's
I should send you a copy.
Please, I would love that. I remember that well. I mean, that was fun.
We must spoil it.
Yes. Yeah, man, that was a good time. Who else was there? I think Veris might have been there too.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, and I'm in touch with her because she's in Canada now. So, yeah, man. So, all right, well, I want to talk to you. I mean, because we know there's lots of history with you and Chalice and everything, but there's I want to talk about some of those songs that you have with Chalice, but also your process, your songwriting process, and your production process. One of and I'm sure you get this all the time, and that song, that ballad that you have with that never dies with Chalice, the woke up this morning and found you gone.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Tell me if you can recall, like, how did that come about?
Mike, that's a true experience, true life experience.
Wow.
Let me see if I can explain to you in the shortest way possible. I got married very young at age 21. And 3 months before I was to get married, I found somebody who I really love. I mean, I love my wife, right? I did love my wife to marry. But then somebody knocked my socks off. Let's put it
Wow, yeah.
And being young and not having the cojones to call off the marriage, I went through with it. About 2 years into the marriage, the whole thing blew up, right? Everything blew up. And my wife found out about it. What they call it nowadays, side something.
Side piece.
It's more than a side piece.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
So she told me that she was going to leave Jamaica and go to Florida. And if I wanted the marriage to continue, I should join her in Florida. It just so happens that at the same time, I had just crossed over from being an amateur musician, doing a 9 to 5 and playing music at night. And I was asked to join Byron Lee's band and fulfill my dream as a professional musician. So I couldn't do what she had asked me right then. So when she left, in one way, it was kind of relief because I had a free rein now to do what I wanted to do. But on the other hand, I was kind of devastated because, she was my wife.
Right.
There was one morning I was at my home alone that I shared with her. About 2 o'clock in the morning, I just woke up and kind of stretched my hand over to see if she was there, and she wasn't there. But what always is there is this.
Yes.
Always there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just took my guitar, went in the living room, and I started to sing. Woke up this morning, found you gone. And I sang the first part of it. And it was like very emotional. And I said, I'm going back to bed. And if I wake up the next morning and still remember the song, then I have something. So I woke up the next morning and the song was still in my head. And finished writing it. And then I actually took the song to Byron Lee to record, and he wasn't interested. And when Chalice formed in 1980, we were all living together in Arakabesa. And we're doing all these reggae songs that Robbie Peart and I wrote. And just you know, in the night time, we just sit on the veranda and after rehearsal and just talk. And Alla and Mikey, of blessed memory, we were sitting on the veranda, and I said, you know, I have this song, you know, it's a ballad, so Chalice would, you know, not going to be well served with a ballad, but take a listen. And when I played it for them, Mikey and Alla went to the keyboard immediately. And Mikey arranged all the chord changes and everything.
Wow, okay.
We used to have tape machines set up to record all the rehearsals. And so we recorded it, a demo of it on cassette. And Desi Jones, also of blessed memory, he would be the one to wake up first. And he would wake up early and he would go and play the tape machine to hear what we did the day before. And all of a sudden, this song started to play. And everybody came out of the room and said, what is that? What is that? What is that? And that's how we decided to write it. And strangely enough, we actually did the first album that came out with us was called Blasted, and that came out, I think, in about late 80, 81. But we had actually we used to leave Arakabes, so we were living, and come up on weekends and go to Tough Gang, which was at the Hope Road Tough Gang, and record material for what was to be our first album.
Okay.
And I Still Love You was one of those songs. And Stephen Stanley was co-producer on it. And I remember after we laid the track, I went into voice the song, and Stephen kept saying, you're not feeling it, man, you're not feeling it. And Stephen said, turn off the light, turn off the light. And I turned off the lights, and I sang the song, and I did the song. And Mike, when they turned on back the lights, I was naked down to my drawers. I was doing everything to feel this sound.
The vulnerability, yes.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's not even in perfect time. The song is not even in perfect
time. Yeah.
If you listen, you might hear when the vocals come in a little later or whatever. But the emotion was there, and we decided to keep that take. And the rest is history. You know. Became our first number one.
Wow. That's what, when you just said the emotion is there, that's one of the things I tell my students, that, it's nice that we're learning technique and we're learning theory and stuff, but what people connect with is emotion. So if you're not being vulnerable, you're not being present in your, nobody's not gonna connect with you, no matter how much technique you have and how perfect you try and do the thing. So the emotion must lead. I always say lead with emotion. So that's What do you think about this though? This ballads, like people weren't doing ballads in Jamaica, really, not many. There were probably a couple, like Peter Ashburn maybe had a couple with.
Mike, you'd be surprised, because when I started getting interested in music when I was 10 and 11 years old and stuff like that, you had "Tell Me, Darling, Tell Me You Love Me."
Yeah.
Right? You had songs like that.
Yeah.
And you had Jackie Opel, I think he was Trinidadian, one that used to sing ballads. I remember Jackie Edwards, right? I don't know if you recall that name. Jackie Edwards was one of our greatest balladeers before Boris Gardner.
Okay.
It was pre-Boris Gardner. And Jackie Edwards actually was one of the first signings with Island Records.
Okay.
And he wrote a song that became a huge hit for a British band which included Steve Winwood. It was called Keep On Running.
Okay.
Right? And then he did a very smooth version of the Beatles Yesterday. And I used to wear out that file. Yeah. So I was drawn to the ballady side of music.
Yeah. and you mean your voice is well suited to it. It's just it just feels like it's over time it's just fewer and fewer people were making ballads.
Yeah, but then of course Barris really did put a big exclamation point and one step
sure.
ahead. And
Yeah.
Soul Reggae was his album produced by
Right.
Willie Lindo. It was really good.
Yeah. And those arrangements, I mean, not just the vocal, I mean, generally the arrangements, the musical arrangements were amazing.
Willie Lindo and of course Harold Butler, the great Harold Butler.
Yeah. You when those, it just makes it timeless, just like your song, just like the I Still Love You. It's a timeless hit.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's nothing to compare to it. you know. All right. So some of a lot of the other songs though, there's some of the songs that had a lot of folk influence, like Revival Time
Right.
and stuff. Whose influence was that folk, the poco and the folk and the things that would come in with some of those songs?
Well, actually, that song started with a bass line.
Okay.
Keith was the original bass player for Chalice. He used to compose these bass lines and bring them to me and say, make a song for this bass line. So we had just come back from Europe, right? And AIDS epidemic was spreading. And I wrote a song about AIDS.
Okay.
And it's devastation. And when I played it for Keith, he said, no, man, that's not what I'm looking for this song. I don't want no down lyrics like that. I said, okay. So put on my thinking cap again. And I remembered, right, there was a punk group back in the 60s. Don't remember the name, but they had a song called I Just Want to Testify What Your Love Has Done For Me. And that song sprung to my mind. And I said, testify. I said, what about sanctify? And of course, that was the age of everybody. Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand.
Right.
So it started with, raise your hand if you want to be sanctified. And it continued from there, right? And the baptism part of children running to the river. And so when I played that for Keith, man, he said, yes, this is it. This is it.
Yeah.
And we recorded that song in about 87, I think.
Yeah. And the lyrics, I mean, not there's songwriters, but the lyrics are so, what's the word? I mean, it's like picturesque, they're evocative,
Yes.
Because as you say, the image is there.
Yeah.
And that is something that you want as a songwriter. Not many people have it, because once you can paint that image, and as you hear the song, you don't need a video because you start to conjure the video in your imagination from the words.
And the thing is that when we were doing the video in oh gosh, what's that river called? Like right up after you go up Stony Hill and ways.
Oh.
When we were doing that video, a crowd of people gathered to see what was going on. And they started this dance, boom, boom, boom.
Oh, okay.
And it became a thing. That dance became significant with the song.
Wow.
Which is great. I mean, anybody picture Macarena, picture electric boogie,
Yeah, that's the signature dance.
Yeah, once it have a signature dance.
Yeah.
Even today when we perform it, I still see people doing the move.
That's probably one of the earlier times where they started to have those signature dances. Because if someone was to do the research, probably it'd be one of those earlier times. Let's talk about Hall Monic, and what inspired that, because that's a nice mix of reggae dancehall and classical.
Yes.
And synth. I mean, because it's a whole lot of different things mix up.
Well, without apology, it's third world inspired.
Okay.
Because they used to do this thing with Cat and the cello and Bonnie conducting, and I was very much in awe of that presentation. And I thought that maybe Chalice could do something like that. And it was like dancehall was now creeping into the whole thing, focus of Jamaican music, right? And so we used to have this machine called Oberon, made famous by Steely and Cleveland brother. And
as an expander.
DX10 or something like that.
Okay.
Brown on the sides, blue and faders and different drum stuff.
Yeah.
It was not synthesizer, it was a drum machine.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And me, Mikey, and Alla, as usual, in the rehearsal room, and I brought the idea to them. And we came up with this drum beat. And then Mikey put the pananana. And we said, okay, great. We're going to record it as an instrumental, right? However, I had this vision of it being operatic at the end. Okay. So I used the slangs of the day. You know, I want to you massive in my body, you know, style and fashion and everything. But when we went to Dynamic Sounds to record it, the strangest thing happened. I was standing outside the door of that. When we went to do it as an instrumental, we couldn't decide what songs we were going to do. We were going to do cover songs. And then and somebody said, boy, we should get some of the current DJs to go and feature with us. And well, we were good friends with Love in there. So we called him in. We did just call him in first. Right. And he came in and he did a wonderful thing. And we said, well, where we're going next? Because we're not really great friends with the DJ fraternity. Not because of anything, we just...
No, it is
in that circle.
Yeah.
And I was standing outside Dynamics, right outside the front door. And who should be passing and going down to the cutting room but Papa San. So I introduced myself, tell him what we're doing, asking if he would be interested. He said, yes. And he just turned and went into the studio. The tune, bam, bam.
Nice.
Every time it took on the record, that's the time it took. There was no over. Right?
Yeah.
Mike, I swear to God, the second day, Tiger passed. And the same thing. And we were complete. And we did those three. And the guys just went in and created the thing on the spot. And it was wonderful.
Meant to be. Yeah.
Yeah. We actually did cut an instrumental using things like Mexican hot dance.
Okay.
James Bond theme. Pa, pa, pa,
oh yes.
Sparks. I can't
remember. What's it called?
Sparks Zarathustra.
Right, Zarathustra. But speak Zarathustra. Yeah.
But it has an English name.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, that's not important. So we
you never released that one. You never
we didn't release the instrumental because the vocal one had such a great response.
Yeah, and even to this day, because I know they've still been using it, even like in the Grand Gala and stuff. You hear it. Yeah. Every other year or so, it comes back. So it's another one that just can't it can't cool.
I'm thrilled about that, Mike.
Yeah. No, good stuff. So let's talk about some of the solo stuff and about maybe you can talk about the process or the processes, because you might have more than one process with the songwriting, and how that has come up in some of your solo things as well.
Well, let me tell you, songwriting to me is, as a songwriter, you can, people give me tracks, ask me to write songs. Some were successful.
Right.
For the most successful one, I suppose, would be Carol Gonzalez's song Second Class.
Okay.
Which she did with Buju Banton. I wrote that. She brought the cassette tape to me and said, Jermaine asked her to put a song on it. Jermaine was managing her at the time.
Okay.
And in 10 minutes, I wrote the song. I have to give it respect to certain producers. They don't know music, they don't play music, but they know what they know, right?
Right, yeah.
So I wrote this song with the hook saying, "Looking glass, give me a sign." Looking glass, give me a sign. Something like that. When she took it to to Jermaine. Jermaine said, I love everything about it except the looking glass. Give me a sign. Right?
Yeah.
And she brought it back to me and told me what Jermaine said. And I changed it to second class,
Yeah.
don't give me no second class love. And I thought it was a dibby tune. Tell you the truth. Arms out, Stuart.
Yeah.
And Carol left and went to England to study law. And she called me and she said, wait. I said, what's up? She said, the tune is in the BBC reggae charts.
What?
Said, are you kidding me? And then one day, I used to just, I don't know if you know where I used to live, in Waterloo. And I used to
Yes.
By Devon House. And I used to come out on my veranda. I think it was a Thursday evening, they had these sessions over in the plaza, South Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And in the early juggling, you would hear all the D Brown, all the Gregory, everything, right? And then when it came later at night, no, that's when you can't sleep because and the dance hall tripping.
Mm-hmm.
Just before I retire, I just hear this Bujuvantan voice, and then Carol Gonzalez coming with second class. I said, where's my tune? So I write like that.
Okay.
But I find that the best songs come when you're inspired to write the best songs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I Still Love You, for example.
Right.
And a second song that came to me really was coming off a tour. I haven't seen Jamaica for 3 months. Coming home, flying low to land in Norman Manley Airport, looking out over the lights of Kingston. And my first thought was, boy, look at my country, it's beautiful. But how many people are getting shot? How many girls are getting raped right at this moment? Mm-hmm. A line came to me and said, Kingston streets are so dear to me, but a cancer grows in our society. Mm-hmm. And I wrote this song called Heroes. Mm-hmm. And I wrote down the first verse on the vomit bag. I have a box mic, which I have about 20 to 30 songs written on vomit bag. From
the plane.
Yeah, you're on the plane and you're just by yourself and it's long flight and some idea come to you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That's a treasure trove, because anytime you like an idea, just go through. It's all right here.
Yeah, I remember going to Austria on a flight and I met this girl named Loretta. And before I was through all this, could I get to know you better, Loretta? Really crap, but when the ideas come to you, you drop
yeah.
them,
But some of those things, I mean, it might sound like, okay, this might be crap in reggae, but in another genre, it might work. Like, Would I Get to Know You Better is very, very Steely Dan lyric. Could I Get to Know You Better, Loretta?
True.
And they would make it work,
Yeah,
So who have been some of your influences, song-wise, just, I guess, music generally, like the people that you respect the most or that you're a big fan of?
All right, musically, I would have to say people like Prince,
mm-hmm.
Jackson, the Beatles, of course, the Stones. I Can't Get No Satisfaction was the first song I ever bought, right?
Okay.
Internationally.
Mm-hmm.
Songwriting-wise, no?
Yeah.
Paul Simon, to me. Paul Simon, Billy Joel, Bob Andy.
Yeah.
Bob Andy has been a major inspiration to me. When I was in high school, I had countless arguments about which Bob was the better songwriter. Okay. And honestly, I used to go for Bob Andy.
Okay.
But you can see the difference with me, because when you go for Bob Andy, right, it wasn't until his later years that he started writing things like Fire Burning. Mm-hmm. But when he used to write all them songs for Marcia Griffiths and those love songs for himself, right? Mm-hmm. Those used to go over better for me than when Bob used to write stuff, the hardcore stuff, Simon Down and
right.
If if you are a big tree, I'm a small axe. What? So these are my inspiration. No, what made me play the guitar is another inspiration, because my parents always had albums, lots of albums, and I was drawn to a particular album. I don't remember the name of the album, but the artist was Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass.
Okay.
And the sound of the trumpet just took me away. So I wanted to play the trumpet. And I asked my parents to buy me a trumpet. No, we weren't poor Jamaicans, but we were wealthy Jamaicans, That's Jamaica. And my parents, willing to oblige, went and shopped for a trumpet, only to find it was a very expensive instrument. And they weren't going to spend that kind of money on giving a trumpet. And in their words, only for you to put it down after 2 weeks, and that's it. So they bought my instrument called a melodic.
Man.
Yeah. Right. So that's my first foray into even trying to play melodies on this melodica. And then when I was about 13, I went to a movie at Regal Theatre. The movie starred the British version of Elvis Presley, a cat named Cliff Richard.
Okay, yes.
But he had a band, backing band, called The Shadows. I don't know if you ever heard of The Shadows.
Oh. And
Mike, I left that theatre completely blown, knowing what I needed to have a guitar. Here's these guys coming out with some shiny red Stratocasters and the melodies that they're playing instrumentally. They had big hits in England, Apache, Peace Pipe, Wonderful Land, beautiful melodies on the guitar. The lead guitarist was a guy named Hank Marvin, and I don't know if he's still alive or dead, but he's the reason I play guitar.
Okay.
And on the American side now, they had a band called The Ventures, which was a similar band.
Okay.
They played things like Pipeline and Wipeout, surf music.
Oh, yes.
Very guitarish music.
Yeah.
I was that those kind of stuff appealed to me a lot.
Okay.
So that's how I started playing guitar. Songwriting was a thing. I never wrote a song till in my early 20s. And how that come about? I was working at the Gleaner Company. And there was a friend of mine working there called Arvil Wood, who became Chalice's road manager after a while. And Arvil Wood convinced me that we should form a singing group. And that he knew 2 guys who were really good singers. And one guy wrote his own songs. So I said, okay. It ironically happened that the day we met and decided to start that singing group, the I-Trees were formed. That same day, the I-Trees were formed. And I learned about that from Errol Thompson, who was one of the top DJs in Jamaica. But when I sat in my living room with the 4 guys, with the 3 other guys, and his name is Hugo, we call him Boogie, and he sang songs for me that he wrote. I said, this is brilliant. I've got to be able to do this. Ironically, he was a member of the Paragons at one time and wrote this classic reggae song called Take My Hand, I'm a Stranger, But I Love You. And John Holt took it and registered it as John Holt.
Oh.
And it took Boogie many years to get back the credit. So after hearing him and being inspired by him writing, I actually wrote my first song, which was like, it could go on a kiddie album today. It could go on a kiddie album. And then, and Bob Andy, we recorded 2 songs on our own. One was called A Tribute to Marley. We called the group TIME, T-I-M-E, the Incredible Musical Experience. That was the acronym. And we used to do these dance routines like Chalice and Stylish
Okay. Okay.
and the not the drifters, the oh gosh, spinners were
Okay.
our inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Spinners were great. And that TIME turned from a singing group into a full band. And that band was going on great, going on really good. But we were all amateur musicians working in the day. And we did our last show at a club in New Kingston called the House of Chen.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's where Chris Gale has his 20th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It was an exclusive club. And I went there to see Burning Spear, Aswad, Third World.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And my dream was to play at that place. And we actually got it. And we played. And when we did the show there, Mike, we got held over for 3 nights. We had to go Friday, Saturday.
Nice.
I had to wait the show. And after the show, and ironically, I use that word a lot. Berries opened Saturday. Pam and Woody, who had a hit called Book of Life, written by Harold Butler, they opened the Friday show.
Okay.
And Berries opened the Saturday show. And when we got held over, he said he would come and open the Sunday show. And I said to the guys, I said, look, you see what we could do if we took this thing seriously, if we became professional. And instead of rehearsing for a few hours on Tuesday evening, really, every man turned it down. So, not leaving a gig, not leaving a gig. Mm-hmm. And I broke up the band that night.
Mm.
I'm not prepared to go any further as an amateur.
Right.
I just stick with my day job. Yeah, so I say I'm not willing to be an amateur musician anymore. Mm-hmm. And I decided to stay with my day job. And I got a call from Jeffrey Chung one day. And Jeffrey Chung said, Byron Lee's putting on a big thing at the Carib Theatre for BNG's then on get his 50th anniversary. And they did this album. And they're having all the artists. But Byron said his band cannot back all the artists. So Jeffrey has to put a band together to back the first half. And Jeffrey called me because Mikey was away with some artists. And we rehearsed, me, Mikey Boo, Robbie Lynn, Jeffrey, and we did the show. Mm-hmm. And when we finished that show, Byron Lee's road manager came to me and said, Byron asking you if you want to join the band. Serious? So I think about it. I said, come talk to Byron. So I went. I spoke to Byron. Byron Lee said to me, his guitarist, Wallace Wilson, I don't know if you know that name. Mm-hmm. Wallace Wilson is this famous DJ called Red Rat.
Yes.
Red Rat's daddy.
Okay. Okay.
And try, yeah. So Byron said to me, I know that you're working at Beamer, you're head of the art department there. The band can't pay what you're working at Greener, but if you come here, I'll give you an office and you can design my record jackets and I'll pay you some more. So I jumped at the offer and I thank Byron for making me into a professional musician. Wow. And fulfill that desire in my life.
That's awesome. Yeah. So just quick aside, how many of those record jackets did you design?
Well, a couple for Byron, his soca album, Eric Donaldson. Mm-hmm. Quite a few. I can't recall them all though. Because I know the Eric Donaldson one was particularly. I'm reminded of it because it did well.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Good song.
Okay.
So I think Hope and Lewis and guys like that. So.
Okay. So as for production now, what are your approaches for production? Like did you, because you produced some of the Chalice stuff, or you produced it as a band, basically.
Right.
Right. But then you also produce on your own.
As a band, it was the hardest thing ever.
Really? Because too many cooks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is where Desi and I used to fight the most.
Okay.
We used to fight. Never, not physical.
Yeah, man, we know, yeah.
But Desi and Mikey are the two most educated musicians. And Allah, because Allah coming out of Alpha and then the Jamaica Regiment band.
Right.
But Desi was really well read and all that, right? Desi used to arrange horn lines.
Yeah,
because
man.
I don't know if you know, but he was a trombonist with the Red Cross.
Oh, yeah, I think I might have heard that. But I also know, because Peter told me that Desi also did the correspondence course with Berkeley. So
right.
He studied, yeah.
Right. He wrote the first book on reggae drumming.
Yes, I have a copy of that. I have a copy.
And then some other American guy who never played reggae in his life went and did it. Anyway, so Desi used to write these horn lines, things like Pot of Gold. That's one of the top videos on YouTube. I'm Trying, Stew Peas, which are songs Desi actually wrote.
Okay.
And Allah know who was a French horn player and then a trumpet player, used to criticize, that's not how you write horn lines. So I say, you do it, then you do it. And he has never done it. That's the kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then Desi, he wanted to make a name for himself really quick. So he used to bring these drum beats to songs that just require one drop. And it used to get under my skin. And his words were, if Sly Dunbar did it, you would love it. Who knows, right?
Right. Yeah.
But I remember this experience. I went to Joe Gibbs' studio to record Good to Be There. And Desi was playing this boom, come, look at him, papa him, boom, come, get him, boom.
Jim Gadd, I think they're Steve Gadd kind of.
Yes, Steve Gadd kind of for Paul Simon.
Yeah.
And when the engineer was a guy named Errol Thompson, he used to do everything for Joe. And when Red Light and Desi roll and we start, maybe about 45 seconds into the recording, Red Light go off. And we just hear Errol say, Drummy! And this high voice, Drummy, what are you doing? Just play a buff, man.
Buff, buff.
And the rest is history. Good to the day we came our second hit song.
Yeah.
Still very popular.
Yes, yeah.
But back to your question about production, as I said, with Chalice, it was difficult. Because being the writer of the songs, I had an idea of how I wanted it to go in my head.
Yeah.
And it didn't always go that way. But for what it is, Chalice became Chalice because of the camaraderie. And as a solo producer now, if somebody brings me a song to produce, right? I first I want to live with this. I mean, if you just call me in the studio and say, help me do this. I remember one of the best productions I ever did was when Sharon Marley came to me and said, Ziggy wanted the girls to do something on the next Melody Maker album. And she came to me and asked me to write a song. And I wrote this song called Unbelievable. And I went into the studio, Tough Gang, with Cedella Sharon and Erica. And it was just C-sharp and drum machine, Mikey and keyboards. And I think I played minimal guitar. I just wanted to bury myself in the production. But to me, this was huge now. These were Marley girls.
Right.
And I went work with C# until we actually found a drum pattern that I could work with. Then work with Mikey and show him the chords and show him everything. And then basically once I had foundation, drum and the bass and thing, I left most of the coloring up to them. But then we brought the girls in to sing and they were fantastic. They were fantastic. And I'm most proud of that production.
Okay.
Work producing for myself now. When I produce it for myself, why am I'm never satisfied. I am never satisfied. So I will, thanks to the advent of the technology, the Pro Tools, Logic and everything.
Yeah.
That has done so much for me in terms of getting music out there. Because 30 years ago, who could afford a studio in the house? Nobody could afford it.
Yeah.
And I find that I did, when I started using Pro Tools and in my studio back in Jamaica, my first project was a tribute to Burt Bacharach.
Yes.
I had all Dionne Warwick, Move Me, all Dionne Warwick songs.
Yeah.
Anyone who had a heart, Walk On By.
Amazing songs.
Wonders of the World, right?
Yeah.
And I decided I'm going to do a guitar instrumental album. And because it's melodies, I'm a man, I love melody. Right? And so the only other musician I brought in, I had a friend at the time that was doing a duet with Richie McDonald, and he played some bass on me. But the only other musician I brought in was probably the most versatile and accomplished studio musician in Jamaica. That's Robbie Lynn.
Yes.
Right? Robbie Lynn can interpret anything. Many engineers and producers like that I've worked with, Clive Hunt, Willie Lynn, that have said, and as Robbie turn on the keyboard, record him. Because you never know what you're gonna get from Robbie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he helped me to complete that production.
Nice.
And it was turned out really good. And during the pandemic, my pandemic project was to do an instrumental album in tribute to Alton Ellis.
Right.
Yeah, because Alton to me is one of the reggae singers that's more melodious, you know. Yeah, another artist I love in the reggae era was Delroy Morgan. Delroy Wilson.
Okay.
But Delroy did more covers than I think than originals. But Alton's catalog is vast. So pick from that. Yeah, but it's production is just it's just adding and subtraction.
Yeah.
You put in, and then you say, wow. Then you start to take out. Sometimes you go with the less is more. But I tell you something I learned about production. I was working with Monty Alexander, and Monty was gonna do an album in Jamaica of Bob Marley music. And Monty sent me like 21 Bob Marley songs. I know them. I mean, who doesn't know Bob? And Monty said to me, no, I want you to listen to them. Take time, put on your headphone and listen. Mike, I was blown away. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was blown away, Mike, because the things I heard in those songs I'd never heard before. Never. There was a guitar that came in at 2 minutes and 22 seconds that played the sweetest thing and never appeared again in the song. There was some kind of percussion that just moved from right to left and in a particular part. No, it was awesome. And then just recently, days ago, I saw on the internet where this guy broke down Exodus. He had all the tracks for Exodus. And he was breaking it down and playing each individual part. And even that song, I never heard parts on it. He was trying to identify who played this guitar. There were about 7 pieces of guitar work on that song.
Yeah.
There were that line, pa pa da pa da pa da pa da, it's overdubbed with clavinet. When you hear the organ that what name Jesus was playing, keyboard player, not Tyrone. Violin though, when you hear that organ that wire was playing, the guy was saying that sounds completely backward, but he didn't get it. It's a foreign.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. So that's my approach to production, either by myself or with somebody else. First of all, when you're working with somebody else, you have to try and hear what they hear. You want to give them what they want.
Right.
What they're satisfied with. Other than that, you just go on.
So maybe it's a two-sided questions. Who presently would you like to collaborate with or work with? And apart from collaborating with somebody else, is there some dream project that you still have in your head that you haven't done yet that you'd like to get done?
Oh yeah. The dream project that I would like to get done doesn't include music.
Okay.
I need to write the book of Chalice. I've actually started.
Nice. Okay.
And I'm trying to do it chronologically by year to year, and try and tell the story.
Yes.
I only reached 1985, so I've always.
Yeah.
But I'm inspired.
Good.
I actually started in April, and I had a rush, and then of course life gets in the way sometimes. That's why. And I would love to. I mean, as far as collaboration. As far as collaboration, I would love to work with people like Chronix.
Okay.
I mean, he's getting a bit of flack for his last album, but I still think there's some brilliance in it. I think there's I don't know the reason why he would turn out an album that sounds like it come from the 1960s, but probably a brilliant move. Probably an album that will outlast the rest of commercially valuable songs.
True.
But I love Chronix as far as even bigger than the reggae world, yeah.
Okay.
I can't. I mean, foreign artists. It's not like a feeling like I would have in my head. What I would love though, man, I have songs written that I would love to be able to present to some of these. I have songs with country feel.
Right.
I have songs with deep emotional feel that I would love to present to one of these artists who are visual now, who have the ear of the world right now.
Right.
And I just don't have an outlet to get it to them. I don't know. That's my problem. But I think there are 2 or 3 songs that I have that I know.
What is that outlet though? Is that a publisher you need, or is it somebody to shop it around, or shop it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish I know somebody that could call up, let's see, Billie Eilish.
Yes.
And say, do something with this. I'm just using Billie. She's one of my favorites. I like her, right? And I think her brother is a genius.
Yeah.
But I mean, the songs that I have are probably, I don't know. But I know I have songs that I've heard. Mike, I'm teaching now. I'm teaching at Guitar Center. And
okay.
And I have a lot of young students, and they bring me music that they would like to play or learn. And trust me, man, 75% of these musicians, the bands and artists I never heard of in my life.
Yeah.
But I am also learning. I said to the kids, I'm learning from you now, because listening to these songs, all right, so this is how you do it. And Right. And I interpret it and show them, you know.
Yeah, you never stop learning. I
No,
mean, I have, I'm teaching at Berkeley, and you never stop learning because they're bringing out people I've never heard of either. But then also sometimes when I hear their voices and I go, oh, this sound like you'd fit this song, and so I can give them these songs that they've never heard of either.
Right.
And they just shine on some.
Yes. I had a kid come in, ironically, and all he wanted to play was Metallica. So I showed him a few riffs of Metallica. I said, no, okay, my turn now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I took him that famous Cream song,
Sunshine of Your Life. Yeah.
The kid can't stop playing it. Every time he comes to a lesson, he starts with Sunshine of Your Life.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Good. It's good that we can cross bridges that way.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, Wayne, thank you so much for taking the time. I don't want to take up your whole day. I know we could talk till still sunset.
You pull a lot out of me this morning.
Good. I want to, if people need to follow you on IG, I want to just share this. That's your IG handle, Armond Wayne, and for me, this is the IG for the podcast, but I have the Reggae Online thing, so there's also reggaeonline.com that you can follow and find all these things as well. But thank you so much. Let me do this. This is the second episode of the second season, which I haven't done in 5 years, so it's always a new.
Well, I noticed that the first episode was Clinton Farron.
Yes.
I just let you know I'm honored to follow him.
Thank you. Yeah, man, Clinton is the best. I can't even tell you. Such a genuine soul, and why those songs, man. Jeez, anyway. Yeah. All right. So let me do this little closing spiel, and then I wrap it up. Thanks again, Wayne. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So don't leave. So give thanks, Wayne, for sharing your heart and the history with us here on Mike's Moment of Songs and Stories. If this conversation touched you, share it with a friend, follow the podcast wherever you listen, and leave us a review. It helps the stories to travel further. You can also follow me and the show on social media for clips and upcoming guests. Until next time, walk good, stay inspired, and keep finding meaning in your moments. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, man. Here we go. I'm Michael Sean Harris. I hope you're entertained and informed, and that you feel inspired to join me again and again in my moments of